For Morocco reaching the semi-final, and here they go again in knockout football. It was Morocco performing brilliantly on the night and getting it done against the Dutch. It went all the way to penalty kicks, and they do the business. The Dutch disappointment is there for all to see. This, a look at their last 6 World Cups that they've played in. And when it comes to getting knocked out, I mean, it doesn't usually happen in 90 minutes for the Dutch. They take it all the way to penalty kicks. Remember what happened against Argentina 4 years ago? Again, this time against Morocco as well. I have a feeling that Julien Laurent is going to have a thing or two to say about Ronald Koeman, perhaps, and this Dutch performance
That's a beautiful
yesterday.
tan. That is a gorgeous tan.
We're going to welcome in Jules.
That's a better tan
He's
than
having a handsome day. You're having a handsome day, Jules.
Yes, oh man, he's sexy today.
Jules, what do you got to say on what you saw yesterday with the Netherlands-Morocco?
I mean, I'm sorry to to say it again, because if you've been watching our show and listening to us for the last few years, even when the Dutch guy was the manager of Barcelona, I think we've told you that it was just not good enough. Not good enough for Barcelona, not good enough for this Dutch national team. It might not be the most talented squad, but it's a squad that is still better than what the Dutch guy has been using it for and been doing it for in the last tournaments. I'm really sorry. What we saw last night again was so predictable in his tactics, in that back five, that silly options that he had, the silly game plan that he used. His in-game substitutions that we've known for years now are never really that efficient. And really, for everything that Dutch football represents for us in the world of football, going back to total football, going back to the Johan Cruyff era and all his legacy, for me, the Dutch guy is the anti-Dutch football at his extreme, at his absolute best. He should have never got this job. I don't know why he's stayed in that job for so long. In 14 games against teams ranked in the top 25 of the FIFA rankings, he's never won a single game. He's never beaten a single of those teams. He's just not good enough. And yesterday, again, the tactics let down the country. It
was actually alarming, Ali, watching that game last night and seeing the Dutch in extra time. They had 16% of the ball in the second half of extra time. I mean, remarkable to see them try not to lose rather than trying to go after the game.
And it was diminishing as the game went on. Diminishing in terms of the possession for the Netherlands. And you can make the argument that they actually scored their goal when Morocco were fully dominating the game. And to Julian's point, they were essentially down to, let's find the big guy in Weghorst, see if he can flick it on to Somerville, and perhaps we may be able to create something that way. That was the limitation of the Netherlands. And again, to Jules' point, this is the Netherlands. This is total football, right? This is where there's overlapping runs, and there's players joining in the attack from the midfield, and there's position interchange, and we're gonna rotate, and we're gonna appear in different spaces, and everybody's gonna go up the field, and everybody's gonna come down the field. Well, everybody came down the field this way, defensively, sitting behind the ball. There were only 3 players going up. And it was Weghorst, Somerville, and Cody Gakpo, and that's it. There was no commitment to actually take chances going forward, no commitment to hang on to the ball, no commitment to create chances. They were barely hanging on in the end, and once they gave up the goal, you kind of felt, well, it's either Morocco going to win it in extra time, or we're going to penalty kicks, eventually penalty kicks, and Morocco won it, and I thought they deserved to win it.
They scored 5 goals against Sweden, Shaka. What happened? Most people, I'm watching coverage from all angles, were picking the Dutch to win yesterday. So what happened?
I thought they showed a lack of bravery. More to the point, Ronald Koeman, or as Jules refers to him, the Dutch guy who once managed Barcelona, showed a lack of bravery about this Netherlands team, who they were and how good they could be. This was an effort not to lose this game. This was an effort to go 120 minutes and take it to penalty kicks. Then they get the goal, a little against the run of play, and then try to hang on to that. You go out to play a game in which you intend, by the way you set up, to go 0-0 for 120 minutes and get to penalties, and then you stand on the park and nobody looks like they're confident in taking those penalty kicks. The further it went on, the more it looked like Morocco were leaning into their performance over the 120 minutes and taking confidence from it that they deserved to go through. So they came up to those penalty spots, to those penalty kicks, with a confidence that you just did not see with the Dutch. And I thought that was just kind of reflective of everything you'd seen all game long. The right team won.
Do you agree, Jules?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, we saw Paraguay before, and the boys talked really well about Paraguay, but it was the same tactic. It was the same game plan for this Dutch team. How can Holland, the Netherlands, play a game like this. We see the stats again. It was just not good enough. I'm really sorry. I don't know. I don't want to pile on again on the Dutch guy, but we have to. And players are not obviously, out of the woods. They share responsibilities. On the pitch, he was not good enough. There's a lack of leadership in this team from a De Jong, from a Virgil van Dijk, from those kind of guys. Sure. But for me, I mean, when I saw Weghorst, and I know he's involved obviously in the Gakpo goal, sure. But when I saw him coming on, I was like, okay, the back five was one thing. Weghorst in a game like this is another that I cannot take. And for me, after that, even when they took the lead, I thought Morocco would come back, and I even thought Morocco would win before the penalties. I thought they would win during extra time. They should have been 2-0 up even before Gakpo scored. So I think it's a real shame. I think it's an embarrassment for a country like the Netherlands to have a team playing like that with a head coach doing those kind of tactics. And I really hope that now they finally move on from him and just go to a direction that at least just represents a bit more what they are about in football. And it's not perfect, and again, that might not be a great generation of Dutch players. However, they're much better to do than what we saw in this tournament.
Goretzka, we criticised him for not taking a penalty for Germany. Virgil van Dijk didn't step up last night, Ali.
And the report says that he fell a niggle, fell a little something, wasn't quite ready to take it. And you just kind of go, it's impossible to not go down the path of where is the leadership? I'm not going to question whether he was injured or not. And if he says he wasn't ready to take a penalty, then you take your word for it. But it does kind of feed into the narrative of what Jules was just talking about. Where is the leadership of his team? And you would have thought that the first person taking the ball on would have been your captain, would have been that guy. That he, for that moment, would have stepped up and said, okay, I'm going to lead us for this moment, and I'm going to lead us down the right path so that then everybody can follow. And that just didn't happen. Eventually, gone. They're all gone.
And the odd thing to that is, I thought Virgil van Dijk played well. There aren't many players for the Netherlands you can say that about. But I thought he played well. I thought he was the leader that they needed on the day. Again, they weren't set up to win this game, but Virgil van Dijk was good.
Morocco advancing, setting up a juicy clash with Canada in the round of 16. They're on the same side of the bracket as France as well. France in action today against Sweden, looking to book a place with Paraguay in the round of 16. Let's learn a little more about Morocco and head across to the sandbox. Saleh, take it away.
Yeah, Kevin, so I wanted to take a look at the role of Hakimi for Morocco, because Hakimi, while on paper he's a right back or a wing back, actually he's much more than that for Morocco in the attack. A good example of that was the sequence in which he hits the crossbar, and Hakimi starting in a central position. Now, let me just give you a better angle so that you have a better idea of to what I'm talking about. This is Hakimi. This is center forward position. This is center forward movement. The ball is with Unai, and he's already making a run in behind Nathan Ake. And you're thinking, is that a right back? Is that a wing back? Or is that a center forward? Very much a center forward move from Hakimi. But it doesn't stop there, because in this case, Brahim Diaz is out wide. But when he's on the inside, then Hakimi is on the outside. And he is timing his run so that he can get in behind whoever the left-sided defender is on the opposing team. You think it stops there? No, this is more of the role of a right back. But as the ball gets switched over to Saibari, who is now taking more of an outside channel position, he makes the run to the outside. He's now running towards the aim line. He's trying to find an option. Who's making the run? It's not Brahim Diaz. No, it's no Unahi. It's Hakimi who appears in this sort of spots. So as defenders track back, he's the one that is appearing inside the 18-yard box, whether it's at the penalty spot, and sometimes even as far as next to the goalkeeper. The role of Hakimi has to be confusing for opposing defenders, because you can't sort him out. You can't pick him out. You can't quite figure out where he's going to be, and that in itself is important for Morocco.